Welcome to Whachacha's Tabletop World, a channel devoted to the love of board gaming. My name is Sweetness Whachacha, and this is a brief overview of DULCE. If you'd like to see my thoughts on this game, click the link here or down below. DULCE is a light, short game about making chocolates. Over the course of the game, players will be adding different types of cafes to their tableau, or planting and harvesting fields, producing different types of sweets, and chaining those productions to set off other productions. Players will concern themselves only with their own tableau and cannot influence other players. Setup is easy. Each player will take a field player board, chicken, meeple, deck of cards, and player aid in their color, placing them in front of themselves with the chicken and meeple on the zero space. The resources, which represent beans, should be placed in easy reach of all players. These include cacao, coffee, vanilla, peanut, and eggs. Then a lead player should be chosen for the game. The lead player has no impact on gameplay. The lead player will shuffle their deck and remove 4 cards at random. All other decks should remain in ascending order. You are now ready to begin. Each round will be played over 3 phases, played simultaneously. Draw, action, and scoring. The draw phase. The lead player will draw the top card of their deck and reveal it to the other players. The other players will search their deck, which is in numerical order, for that card and add it to their hand. In this way, each player will be playing an identical card. However, what they choose to do with it will be different. Next is the action phase. You can decide which of the 3 actions you would like to take: build the cafe, plant fields, or harvest crops. Let's say I want to build this cafe. I simply place it up face up in my tableau. You will notice there are 4 cafes pre-built on your field board. Let's take a look at this card in more detail. The name of the cafe is at the top, which is just for flavor text, as well as the card number we used in the draw phase. Finally, you will note the ingredient beans, in this case, cacao and vanilla. A key concept revolves around these rings. You can see 2 surrounding the cacao and 3 around the vanilla. 3 rings represents pure bean, 2 ground bean, and 1 ring butter. More on this in scoring. The second action is planting fields. You simply turn the card over and place it on your field board. Each card features a different assortment of bean fields. In this example, there are 2 coffee and 2 peanut. You can choose to rotate the card or cover other fields or even your starting cafes. When you place the card, you will place the matching resource on that field. On any square you cover a matching type, you will gain an extra resource of that type. However, you will lose any cubes you cover up. But don't despair. You will be able to take these wasted resources and feed them to your chickens, moving your chicken up 1 space for each resource. More on that soon. And lastly, you can choose to harvest. Simply pick a row or column and receive all the beans in that row or column. Then, place them on any matching empty spots on your cafes. Any extras that can't be placed, you guessed it, get fed to the chickens. In the scoring phase, you will pick a cafe that has both ingredients and score it. The rulebook doesn't say this, but I have a little trick that I use to make it less likely for me to get confused and make a mistake. First, I slide the resources off the ingredients. You have now made a cheesecake. Yum! You'll score a point, and this will create byproduct. The 3-ring pure bean becomes a 2-ring ground bean and can be placed on an empty space on another cafe that calls for a 2-ring ground bean of that type or a 1-ring butter of that type. So I can place this now 2-ring ground vanilla bean here on this creme brulee. Now, this means you can produce some creme brulee. Move the ingredients to the right, score a point, and repeat this process. I can now place it on this double chocolate mochas. Now it would be great to produce this truffle, then I can move this coffee bean onto the mocha and score another point, but I need this peanut to do so. That's where the chicken comes in. Simply move the chicken back 3 spaces and place an egg as a substitute. Make and score for this truffle, losing the egg afterwards, it can't be recycled, which will allow us to make and score this double chocolate mocha. Anything that can't be recycled, you guessed it, gets fed to the chickens. And that's it. After 20 rounds, the game will end. That's the entire deck, minus the 4 cards that we took out. And whoever has the most points at the end of that will be the winner of the game. The game does include a solo mode, which plays exactly the same since you can't affect other players, and it does have some point totals that are goals to shoot for. And that's it. If you'd like to see my brief thoughts on the game, click the link below. But for now, I gotta roll.